Welcome to step 1, updating your accounting records for 2016. Now, you can also use a copy of this spreadsheet for going forward for 2017. And in this video, I'm just going to talk about a little bit about the accounting concepts that you want to kind of be aware of when you go through the next videos, which will walk you through actually updating the line items in the spreadsheet. So accounting is the money and value of a business. Accounting really is the language of business. So being really aware of value gives you information you ultimately need to make decisions. Now, when you're getting started, the accounting and the numbers that you do to make decisions might be pretty basic and in your head. But just being aware of some of this stuff can really go a long way. So, as you'll see in the spreadsheet, there is a difference between being a sole proprietor and an LLC. So a sole proprietor is when there is no separate business. Your business is you. So you're in that situation if you go out and you just start working for yourself, if companies pay you with a Form 1099 miscellaneous, if people just pay you, if you exchange your time for the value of something and aren't even paid in cash. All of this is considered income as a sole proprietor. That means sole proprietor is the legal business, no separate business. Now, when you form an LLC, you've created a separate business, like the corporation, partnership, all of those big businesses you've heard of. The difference with the LLC is that it's the only one that keeps things simple for taxes. So as if you're your sole owner in your business and you make an LLC, for taxes, the LLC doesn't exist. So it keeps things simple for taxes because all of the other types of businesses, they have to file a business tax return and then give you forms that you file on your personal, and this is a lot more work than being self-employed. So with the LLC, you'll see in the accounting spreadsheet that the records are more complicated for an LLC because it is a separate business and all of your money needs to be separate from the business. So that's the difference in the two spreadsheets. Now, if you didn't follow the rules for the LLC this year, even though you are an LLC, be sure to watch that video so you kind of understand what you need to do going forward. When you're self-employed, you just report your income and your expenses. Everything you receive that was for pay for work you did, and then everything you spent related to earning that income is a qualified business expense. The way you know if it's not a business expense is if there was any personal reason for it. Things like getting your nails done and my hair, even though I'm recording this video, they're not qualified. Typically, it's really typically not qualified. So, and there's a good approach to this too, is to remember that you want to really know what is your business expenses because that's going to affect what you charge people. And so that gives you the information to really understand what happened instead of throwing in all these expenses that maybe aren't really for business, but just because you want to save taxes. So there's benefit to really understanding what your expenses actually are and just kind of following the business rules. So when you're an LLC, you are a separate business. And so now when you put money into the business account, that money is capital. It's called capital, your contributions. You keep track of all of that. When you're self-employed, you don't keep track of that because there's no difference between you and the business. So one other thing I'll mention for accounting that I'll go over in the spreadsheets as well is that when you buy things that you use to make money in your business, like your laptop, your phone, if you have a business phone, those sorts of things, they are assets. And so when you have a business, like an LLC, they go on some of your reports. And that's the last thing I'll say is that the point of accounting is so that you can understand your numbers and how profitable your business is, the value of your business. And there are all sorts of reports that accounting software can do. So as you grow, be conscientious that you really do need more information. We are not very good calculators. So accounting software can be awesome. It can give us all sorts of information. Say you get big clients, you have multiple clients, or you have multiple employees. You can look at profitability all different ways. So I recommend Xero software for service-based businesses if you are looking into automating your process. And I'll have more about that on my site resources. So for now, I'll see you in the next videos. If you're self-employed, there's a self-employed accounting spreadsheet, and then there's the one for the LLC. And in the next video, we'll just go through all of the income and all of the business expenses. All right, see you then.